Hey guys, today we're sitting down with Paul, Najera, and Boys Don't Disco. Nice to have you guys on the next episode of Refuge Mixdown. How you guys doing?
Good,
Good,
good.
man.
What's up?
Good.
Try a little shuckers for the online peeps. Whee! And we invited along label homie, longtime friend Greco, founder of
Sweaty guy
Refuge.
over here. What's up, guys?
What's
Yeah,
up, man?
you've been like working out and bashing out gym sessions and mixing tracks all at the same time.
You know what we're trying to do as best we can during this crazy ass quarantine.
Yeah, dude.
But it's good to see all you guys. I haven't It's been a minute.
Been
It
years.
has been a minute, but damn, man. I was literally about to go to California right before all this shit hit. And I was I was so hyped to see you guys too. Now we're stuck, so
Yeah, for real.
we chilling.
Yeah, man. Well, look, that kind of brings me to my first point. Before we dive into like the whole backstories and stuff, Paul, Alex, how did you guys get like linked up to begin with, and yeah, that whole kind of big deal?
Well, I mean, like, me and Paul have like a ton of mutual friends. Like, I've known of Paul, and I knew Paul from like back in the day, but I've never like really, like, we never really connected and like, chilled and had a conversation. And then about like maybe 5-6 years ago, we just like kept running into each other all the time. And then he was like, yo, I got this, studio space if you guys want to like come in and work on tracks. And I was like, yeah, I'm down. And from there, we just, they had like an old studio, like at some like industrial, like you wouldn't even think it was like a studio. Like it looked like a warehouse, like a storage place.
It looked abandoned.
Yeah, it was like sketchy, but it had a good, like a little setup in there. It was actually pretty nice because it was pretty roomy. It was roomier than our second studio that we shared. But there was like limits on how loud we could get there and the time. So then, and after that, I mean, we just kind of started, working together. And then the label came out, Late Night Jackin'. And then from there on, we're just, we became good friends. We're still doing it.
Yeah, tight. Paul, anything to add from that, or is that pretty like on point?
No, yeah, that's pretty much how we started hanging out.
Yeah, sick. Well, I'll flick it over to Greco. He's got a couple of bits and pieces that he'll throw into the mix as well.
Yeah, man.
How us three met?
Yeah, man, talk to me.
Oh, dude, this is great, man. So I love these guys. Like, I have ultimate appreciation for them. They were like, Late Night Jackin' was the first people that really showed interest in what I was doing, right, like directly across the country. So there was really no relation there other than the fact that we were mutual friends on the internet. They supported my music. And after just like, meeting them and they bringing me out and throwing just an incredible party and releasing music with them as well. It was just, I mean, I remember Alex picked me up at the airport and I got like a real good, like one-on-one with him. And I think Junior was in there too. Yeah. But it was so humbling and so wholesome, right? Because their story is so organic, the way that they met. And I feel like that's the same case for us. How we met is just literally through the music. And I think it's safe to say, and most of you guys probably agree, I'd say a large chunk of my best friends that I call best friends today are friends that I've met through exactly like this.
The music, yeah.
And dude, it's been incredible. I mean, just watching them grow as a brand, and continuing to uphold house music, right? Like that's something that I will always respect and appreciate and push and support, like 150%. You guys always see me like hanging out with Todd and Kenny, and these guys it was such a blessing, bro. Like they're like my guardian angels in a sense. Like they really watch over me and they take care of us. And that goes for all of us that are really in this thing. It's really like this mutual bond. Even if we don't meet in the physical, we have through music. And I think that's such a profound thing. And they caught me right when I started to break. So again, like, they were really on top of their shit, because I'm this small little puny DJ out of New York wearing tight pants and shit. And then along comes
Mighty Mouse,
fucking
bro.
Late Night Jack and fucking, it's the rest is history, honestly. And we've had some really amazing moments. Like, then you bring in Pinto to the mix, forget it. Like, the family's just only grown since that time. And honestly, I think it's about time you boys take that trip to Amsterdam, right?
that was the plan this year.
That was the plan, dude. I know it. Yeah, I mean, look, we're gonna get there for sure. But ultimately, the point being, like, we met literally through the music, and the rest is history. It's really as simple as that.
That's time, man. I find a lot of the relationships that kind of we all built, like me and you, Tom, as well. Like, we met through that, and you guys added me from the Late Night Jack side to the promo list, and then I got caught wind of a lot of the guys, like is it CJ, Sijay, Sijay? Yeah, man. Like, love that stuff, and Pinto and some other cool producers. On the kind of Late Night Jack side of things, have you guys always been like strictly house heads, and if so, how would you compare your music taste now to your 15-year-old self? Would it be same or would it be completely different?
Dude, I think I've been listening to the same style of house music since I was a kid, dude. Like, sometimes I'll get like techie or something, but like, for the most part, I've always listened to like the old school Sneak, Derek Carter, like, just like that old school style, which is like what we try to push out as well, is like kind of that type of vibe. A little more modern now, but basically that type of vibe. We do put out like a couple tech house tracks every now and then, but for the most part, it's all that same style of house music.
Yeah, same for me. I mean, if you listen to like a mix from like the early 2000s I've made, and you listen to a mix that I do now, it's consistently the same type of music that I've been in. Some people call it kind of like snobbish, I guess, like like a house snob, because
purist is a better word. Yeah, we ain't snobs here.
Because I'm always been into the same kind of like subgenre of house music, and it's not that I hate on different genres. It's just that was like the type of house music that I've always connected with, and I've had like this, it's kind of part of like my upbringing. Like, I came up listening to like all these like 60s and 70s soul records and disco from my dad. My dad was like a big, he was into that type of music when he was growing up. So I came up listening to that, and it always stuck to me. So when I discovered house, I was like, what? Like, they sample all these like records that I knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I know that song. My dad had like a collection of 45s, like a massive amount of 45s, where I used to like take them and just play them. And that's basically how I got into DJing. Was I used to like have this curiosity to play my dad's records, and that's and I kept and then I got into house music. I started listening to people that would sample these type of records, and and then from there on it took off. It's always
stuck.
It's just stuck, yeah. Like that style has always been just what I kind of like represent and what I like to work with.
Okay, that's cool. Is there a particular record both of you kind of like was like a pivotal moment for you guys, like, because for me it's Kings of Tomorrow Finally. Like, when I heard that, like, as a 12-year-old or something, I was like, I don't even know what this music is, but this is mad. And then my kind of rest of my life was revolved around that. And the older I got, the more powerful that song became for me, because I understood the lyrics and, you know, going ups and downs in, you know, love and family and life. That shit hits home so hard. Is there a record that was a turning point for both of you that was like, okay, this is my shit?
Yeah, I mean, man, there's so many records that like that. I mean, for me, it's like if I get goosebumps just listening to it, you know, it's like you know, wow, like this track is like you know, you would play it and you just get into it.
Yeah.
You know,
or is it a producer?
Production wise, I mean, like, rest in peace, Mike Huckabee was like his records always like, you know, every time I see a Mike Huckabee fucking record, I would just pick it up. You know, it's just like an automatic, like boom, get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, his music, you know, it was like a mixture of like house, and then he would also like implement all these like electronic noises and stuff into his production. So I mean, that's one of my, you know, top producers, you know, if I could look back to my early days in music. So yeah.
Yeah, tight. Paul, what are you thinking?
Well, I'd have to say, like, if there's a song that I really, really love would be Want You in My Soul. Is it the Lovebirds? Like, that song is fucking sick. You can play that anytime and everybody just goes nuts, man.
Yeah.
As far as production wise, I'm just into like old stuff, dude. Like old Jason Hodges.
My boy, man.
2 weeks. Yeah, dude, I fucking love that shit.
Shout out Jason.
Shout out to Junction Style Music.
Old Sneak. That's all my favorite stuff, dude.
Sure. Yeah, tight, man. Well, I mean, we hear that stuff come out in you guys' production pretty prominently. Tom, we'll flick it to you. I know you got a couple questions that we were going to throw to these guys. What's up on the list?
Well, I was going to actually say, just to kind of contrast that question that you asked them, what is the one record that you both looked at each other and hated because it got so popular? Don't say Fisher losing it either.
Yeah.
It can't be that fresh.
Oh, man.
Like one record that was super pop, it's pretty good, but you just can't stand it.
I'm gonna say, hey, Dennis Ferrer.
Yeah.
Oh, I swear to God, you read my mind. Dude.
Yeah.
That was the jam, man. That was the jam.
It was the jam, but too many times it's like, all right, go away.
I gotta agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, mine's Room.
Which one?
Which one?
Oh, bro.
Oh.
It's the biggest joint. It's the biggest joint, and I'm like, oh, you've all ruined this for me now. Like,
but you just hear that, and that's it. You're just like,
yeah, and then your shirt's off, like, what? Someone get my shirt back. No, it's done. It's done. Well, we've been throwing this question in pretty regularly in the Mixdown chats. You know, we hit up Bot, and he told us that he'd have Jesse Rose play 8 hours, and we had Brillstein drop in, Doc Martin, Mark Farina, Sneak as his kind of go-to. If you had 8 hours of a programming, live stream, festival, club, whatever you want to do, and you had a lineup to pick, who's on your lineup? And you can pick anyone from any era.
Well, for me, I've seen Derek Carter play 7 hours at Smart Bar in Chicago, and that was fucking. Sure. He started with disco. I got there early. It started with disco. I left like at 6 a.m. He started with disco, got into all this house, and at the end he played more disco. It was super dope. I'd let him play all night.
Roy Davis or something.
Sorry.
That description reminded me of Roy Davis, because he's Roy Davis Jr. He's like, I saw him at Fabric, and he did almost the same thing he just described. It was just such a journey, man. Some of these guys are wild.
For me, probably be like Moody Man, you know, just because he's wild. You know, he'll play like a wide range. You know, he's got a wide range of sound. You know, he'll get like disco, he'll get like funky, he'll get like deep. I've heard him play a couple of times, and you know, and what I like about him is he just doesn't give a fuck. Like he'll play a record, and you know, it's not gonna be a perfect mix, and he just doesn't care. But that's the way he is, and people just kind of like they don't care about the technicality of it. They're more into the music that he's playing. So
Yeah.
That sounds like a Moody Man and Kenny Dope.
Yeah.
Like them back, like playing after each other.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Yeah. I saw Moody Man play in Melbourne last year at Picnic Electronic, and it was Mr. G, and then it was Moody Man, and everyone was like, he was closing, and we're just like, okay, waiting, and he opened with AC/DC. It's like a wedding. Like the first 30 minutes was like party DJ at a wedding.
Yeah.
All the hits. Everyone was like waiting for like, you know, some like dope ass Detroit shit, and he's playing like real fuck you dance music. Like it was hilarious, but it was mad. Like it was super fun. Everyone was dancing.
That's the funny part about him, you know, he just doesn't give a fuck. Like he's just...
he played Prince, and then he played like all these, and then he stops the music and plays Gangsta Full Clip. And just the whole place erupted, and everyone's just rapping. And then he got into disco, and then he got into some techno. He was really impressive on how he went from like 95 BPM to 130 in like 90 minutes without losing the crowd. And like it was definitely a lesson on how to
people
DJ.
Are just there to watch him do his thing, bro. That's like people will stay there no matter what he does and plays. Like they're there for the entirety of that set. It's wild. Man. I've never even seen Moody Man. Can we all go see him one day together?
Yeah, dude.
I want to pop off to some Moody Man. Like, you know, that's legendary shit right there. So I'd love to see it.
Yeah. He played Full Clip, and I like pretty much lost my shit. I was like, no, I'm not dancing.
It's nothing unexpected either. Yeah, wow. I've only seen videos, but you know.
No, he gets down. The last time I saw him was in BPM back when it was still in
Mexico.
Yeah, it was like 2015, I think, and it was on the beach. So, you know, he didn't get that eccentric, like playing, you know, party jams. He was playing like pretty much like disco and house. And it was a good set.
Keep it real.
It was a good set. He was playing, you know, vinyl and digital, and it was.
It was doing what he wanted.
Yeah, he was solid. So, and everybody was digging it, you know. It was like, I was at the beach. It was like top 10 for me, probably DJ sets.
Yeah, he's a special one where he's got that real like fuck you attitude.
Yeah, that's
like fuck you, dance or live.
Just
whatever.
Ultimate confidence.
Yeah, like
that's it, man.
You love it. If you love it, you're gonna love it. If you hate it, you're gonna hate it.
And
that's very true. You can't please everybody, but the people that are there for a reason.
Well, it's also sometimes not taken into context, right? Like me saying Moody Man playing party jams to a festival of 10,000 people is like, what? But then it was like, that's what they needed. Because
when you're there, it makes sense.
Mr. G for an hour and a half, who was absolutely slaying. You can't go straight into tech. It would just be too monotonous.
Yeah.
He was like, this is an opportunity for me to, you know, everyone's like, I'm talking about it, right? So he did the right thing. You know, everyone's been like, damn, I want to hear Moody Man play Full Clip. Fuck. Yeah. So with that kind of, you know, in mind, how are you guys feeling about...
keep going, my bad.
Yeah. Tom, you can jump onto it.
Oh, I was going to just pivot kind of, and since we got like pretty much all label heads here, and just kind of talk about maybe just the state of like quarantine in the industry, what you guys have experiencing, and then also we kind of want to touch upon Pump Soul and maybe some production techniques, maybe some, you know, production talk as well, because we haven't even hit that yet. And that's pretty much where we all connected, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point, man.
So yeah, I would go ahead with just like, I guess break down what's your favorite synth or VST, anything new that's like kind of caught your ear lately. I know you guys are working with the TR8, right?
Yeah.
Or is it the machine? Or the machine?
Both. We're using both now.
Both? Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
we're using both now. The TR-8 is dope. Like I remember I hit you up to try to figure out how I could get that thing synced, dude.
This thing doesn't fucking move from my studio, bro. It's here forever. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, so I finally got that like running good, and basically starting all our tracks with that, dude. Like at least for like a basis of a set of drums, you know. And then,
it's great. It's super intuitive. It's fun. It's hands-on. It gets the fucking work done like right away. And
yeah, it's cool because it's like
cook
right
up
away.
your own packs where you can literally save your whole preset for your drum rack. You pop the thing on, you're good to go. You can make a record like that. It really is so intuitive. I think this thing was for me a game changer because
we're using it a lot.
All about drums, bro. Those drums gotta fucking slap.
Yeah,
you know?
dude.
So this is definitely, I think, a great tool. So I guess anything else, maybe in the box, rather than step away from the hardware a little bit.
I mean, we're on Logic, so we use a lot of the basic stuff that comes in Logic. We use the UAD stuff and the what else?
UADs count.
The Slate digital stuff as well.
Yeah, Slate's really good too. I have their plugins for mastering specifically, actually.
Yeah, they got some good stuff, dude.
Like the SL, I think it's like a replica sort of compressor.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great too. Alex, anything on your side?
Basically our basis of like every track, like mostly every time we work together as a group is always the drums. Like it's gotta be, it's the sound. I mean, the sound of the drums is what makes the track.
Yeah.
And it's cool that, like Paul is a drummer. So say if I get an idea for some drums, he'll add in these little extra like snares and like he's got like this drummer mentality where he'll take some basic drums and just transform them into like something amazing. Like it just keeps the track moving. And I think a lot of like the beginning of like tracks and stuff that we start, like ideas that we get out is basically starts with drums.
Likewise.
I mean, lately we actually been like hunting for like samples. We'll just like we'll look up tracks, we'll look up old records and stuff, and we'll start like sampling and then just see where it goes. But like I think the base of our tracks, like the base of like every track that we make is always like really good drums. And like you said, the TRA, we just got that. It's got some amazing, presets and also all the stuff that you could get. And
the features are nuts.
Yeah, all the features and all the sounds that you could get out of it is just amazing. So before that, we were doing Machine and also Machine, they come up with, they come up with stuff all the time. So, some add-ons and stuff, some new packs.
Yeah.
And Junior's a guy where he'll get these like these drum packs from like I don't know where the fuck he gets them from, but he'll be like, yo, I got this drum pack from I don't know, and then he'll upload it and it's like these old like dusty drums,
right,
like hip hop drums and stuff like that, and then you implement that into like house music and it just makes the track sound like like if it was made in 1996, not now. So that's kind of like our
old,
kind of what we're into right now, like this old sounding, but kind of like give it a new twist.
I feel like we do we connect on the low step level like around that time where I was releasing with low step and stuff because I think it goes back to what you were just saying is like his focus was really keeping that real old school sound, but then like pressing forward a little bit with a lot more of the the synthesizers, the vocals, heavier, and he really just he did his own thing, and I would say definitely inspired from guys like MK, for example, Todd. I mean, it's just really cool to see that even with time going on, and now I'm 32. And I got kids that are 18 or no, I'm sorry, 12 years old, just turned 13, making deep tech minimal house. Like, are you joking? But the sound is good, right? Like they're using the proper samples. They got the proper culture behind it, right? The mentality is there and the appreciation is there. And he's obviously not from the States. He's from Europe, Tenerife to be exact. And it's just, I think the progress now in the world, obviously, is like, you could go to any market now and there's some sort of scene for house music. I think that's super profound and not really talked about enough, because this is essentially continually growing and the artists are getting younger and younger, and the music is really starting to, I mean, look at how many subgenres we got. I can't even keep up. I really can't. It's nuts.
There's so many.
It really is, but it just, it's partially technology becoming more available. And then, obviously, like, these kids are being exposed to this music from the radio stations now, because most of this music, like Lady Gaga's new label or new release, her new album, was purely produced from like Axwell and Chami and Blood Pop and all these EDM producers, big EDM producers, all on a legit pop album in the like worldwide. So I mean, when that was just another indication. Where do you see this scene going in the next like 5 to 10 years?
I don't think it's or slowing down at all, dude.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I didn't know.
It goes through cycles.
I didn't know that all those guys did that album.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I had to, because I heard the sound and I just literally had to dive in and check out. It's just natural for me. When I hear a good sound, I want to know who made that and who is behind that, because I know when it comes to pop music, there's usually several producers behind something like that. But yeah, it was really something else, man. Oscar, what do you think? Where do you see this scene going in 5 or 10 years?
I think it's going to go very much like the disco route. When disco popped off back in the day, it was obviously, made for the minorities or made from the minorities. And then it's not so much the bubble or burst, but I think house music is now funneled into dance music. And it's now instilled in pop culture,
Right.
What was once underground is now just the norm. Now, again, obviously there's varying degrees of it, but I think if there's guys like you guys from Late Night Jack and, really sticking to the things that made you fall in love with the music, there's always going to be people like you, Tom, pushing the envelope with old school techniques, with new sounds and new markets and testing the waters. And guys like us that, have a specific, like, I love it all. I love house music as wide as it goes. And we do certain things. So I think all the pockets are going to coexist, but I also believe that the ability to release music so freely is almost at a detriment to the scene, because the quality gets compromised. Back in the day, you had to have band and session musicians to make quality sounding music. And it always sounded quality because it was
lots of noise these days.
Yeah. So, but that's good and bad, having the ability to create music is positive, but then the ability to create music doesn't necessarily mean it's of quality.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I think you guys are doing an amazing job. And honestly, we've touched a lot of people and changed a lot of people's lives through what we do. And that's just going to perpetuate through time as long as we keep doing what we love, right?
Yeah.
So
I think you're right.
No matter what really happens, it was kind of like a trick question because nobody really knows what the hell is really going to happen. Who knows? But ultimately, I think what we're doing, preserving the roots and staying connected with the culture, I think that's the most important thing. And I think, Oscar, I agree with you, is that the culture is being lost. And I think where we stand in a position, we need to bring that culture back, and we need to teach that culture to the younger people that are coming up, or people that are just brand new to the scene that just may have just been stuck in the EDM bubble or the hip hop or whatever. Like, they could have just been in a mainstream type of vibe, and then out of nowhere they're like, hey, I heard this track from a friend and now I'm like obsessed with techno, or I'm obsessed with house music. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So I really love what we're doing, guys. Honestly, like, I think the scene is really growing so positively. But I think it's, like I said, very important that we do stick to our guns and just, you know, continually do what we believe in. And that's just going to really just grow our scene as younger professionals, really maintaining the culture and the roots to house music. It's really important from my eyes. I'm just super passionate about it. I know you guys are too. We've been in it for a long time now, so.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Well, look, we got 2 more questions I want to run through, and then we can call it a day. And it's been really dope getting just spending some FaceTime with you guys. Always nice. With all the things said, being producers, working with labels, being label owners, and being promoters, any kind of tips that you can share for any upcoming cats trying to make their mark on either of those fronts?
For me, because I've been asked that about like starting a label, I feel like I would go. I think Tom started out like that. Tom, you used to do like free on SoundCloud, right?
Yep.
And I feel like you're able to build a huge following by doing that, right?
I still stand behind that, man. I've always thought music should be free at certain levels, and it really does help to give back. So that's
knowing what I know now, I feel like that it should be the first step if you're going to start a label, because I feel like you would start off with a huge fan base versus just the random dude just starting a label, and like it's really hard to get. It's really also just to get producers to send you music with not knowing what your label is about, you know, is like really tough. So I think start getting the fan base and starting like a free label or something like that would really help.
Okay, that's cool. Alex, you got anything to add for that one?
Yeah, just to add to that, I've seen like even bigger labels now. I feel that they have, you know, they absolutely put out music, you know, for sale. But also I see them, you know, once a month or whatever, put out, you know, free downloads of like same artists that, you know, like same group of artists that they work with. They'll put out a track or 2 for free for people to like, you know, kind of keep in touch with the label. And I feel for us, I get asked, I get that question asked too about like, oh, you guys, you know, how's it running a label? Like, are you guys, you know, you guys making money? And the funny part is like, I'm always like, absolutely. The only reason we run this label is because we actually enjoy putting out music, working with other artists. For me,
the journey.
Yeah. For me personally, it's like when somebody sends us a demo and it's really good track, it kind of like, it brings me back in the days when you were digging records and you put on a record and it gives you goosebumps. And also the satisfaction of a new artist or upcoming artist, somebody young, new, that started just producing, and how amazed you get from like the quality of track they send you. Because sometimes we'll get these really young guys, they'll send us tracks and it's like, whoa, it sounds like something from like 1996. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, there's a lot of young talent that actually do. And this is just to back on what Tom said about, you know, people putting in their time and effort and research into the history of house music. I want to give credit to a lot of these younger guys. There's a lot of young guys that actually do appreciate the old school sound and the roots of house music, and they bring it, you know, they give it a new twist. And that's something that, like, as a label head, you know, when you're listening to demos and you listen to these, you know, young cats with this old sounding, you know, sound, but, you know, with a mix of the new, it kind of just like, you know, it amazes you, because, you know, you're like so deep into this, you know, house thing that you never thought, you know, a young cat would be able to understand, you know, the sound that we like and the sound that we put out as Late Night Jack. And so this just, I mean, it's amazing to see young people, you know, do their research and have that deep, you know, understanding of the culture.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like I personally, you know, have a strong connection to the old school sound, but more so about why it was built as opposed to what is being produced. You know what I mean? Because people are always going to take the narrative and add their own flavor to it, or add their own pain and, you know, their own trauma. And that's where generally creativity is at its finest, right?
Yeah.
Trying to express yourself because you can't actually speak because no one will listen. So you're like, I need to put my voice into something else. And, you know, to echo what you were saying, I love seeing, you know, young guys or just, you know, anyone trying to produce music at the start of their careers, just doing it with the history in mind, but then not necessarily copying, but kind of paying homage to the people before them and what they've laid down for, you know, for us to pick up and kind of carry forward in not so many words.
And just to go back to your, you know, original question about, you know, what to tell young people about, you know, owning a label. You know, we do it because we love the music. It's fun for us. It's like a hobby for us to do this. You know, I think the misconception of people when they say, oh, you own a label is that, oh, you must, you know, make money off of it. And, you know, as label owners, we all know that, especially in this genre,
ain't the case.
You know, we don't, you know, there's no money to be made. It's basically for the love of the music. And it brings me, like, personally, it brings me joy to, like, put out music, and it's like pride, you know. I'm proud of, like, putting out these records that you know, we get to hit, you know, whatever, like other people around the world are downloading, you know, music that you think it's cool, you know. So that kind of validates it in a way that, you know, like, cool, man, like, you know, I'm not the only one that's into this. Like, you know, there's other people around the world that appreciate, you know, what these local guys, like, we like to put a lot of local guys on our label. And, you know, we've found so many, like, good producers here in San Diego. And you know, to see, like, you know, when we send out promos and to see, like, these big DJs, like, dig the records, it like, I feel proud for them. I'm like, dude, you know, like, so-and-so said your track is banging, you know, and just to see them, like, oh, really? Like, whoa, like, you know, that reaction they get, it's like a sense of pride, kind of like a dad telling their kid, like, good job, you know, like, you guys are rocking it, you know. So that's another you know, good thing about owning a label, I guess. A good feeling you get from it, from just
definitely, man. I feel you on that one. I guess, you know, the last bit is what's coming up for you guys. You know, gigs, shows, live streams, releases. How can people find you? You know, all the things.
Gig wise, there's no gigs. We're down to, like, 2 clubs in San Diego right now for house music when everything opens back up. Bang Bang.
Fingers crossed that they're still, you know, they're still around whenever we get out of this.
It's a rough time for everybody in this world, actually, in the scene, especially though.
You got to play at Bang Bang for our anniversary party.
Oh, dude, yeah, these guys brought me in for Bang Bang one time, which was out of control.
They closed it down.
They closed Bang Bang?
Yeah.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah, but they got a new project. So
okay,
I'm sure they got something else.
That was a beautiful place. I really love that place. So it's, you know, it's a shame to see it go, but hey, nothing lasts forever, right? Like, you know, there's always gonna be something better that comes.
Yeah, they definitely, they're gonna probably do something else, you know, that's gonna top that.
I wanted to go to Crossfest this year. I really want to experience that. It looks like a great time, man.
It's a great time, man.
Yeah, that one's fun.
It's fun.
We're doing live streams with the Weekender, which is another festival here in San Diego.
Oh, that's great. When's that happening?
Well, they started doing a weekly radio show since they had to cancel the actual festival.
Right.
So they do a radio show Friday. It's a live stream Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That's great.
it's all shades of house. So like Friday they're doing like Afro house, and then we're doing Saturday. Sunday is Soleil, which is a big party down here, which is more like soulful house, deep.
I think I've heard of them. Yeah,
it's a really
cool
fun party. So that's pretty much all we got going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, and we do our monthly live stream from a studio, Sub X, or Substation X, and they got a whole production rig there with cameras, and the whole setup is pretty nice. So we're lucky to, like, you know, Paul hooked that up with one of his friends, and they, you know, we did it once, and then they're like, hey, you guys should come and do it every month. And so we're lucky to be able to hook up with them and have that monthly thing going. And then, and just to add to that, we, I don't want to, I mean, it's not locked yet, but we talked to somebody that's a little bit big in the scene, and we might be doing like a big live stream soon, but it's not locked yet. We just talked about it. So yeah, look out for that. Yeah, hopefully it works out and we get it done, and you guys will find out who we can work with.
I don't doubt
I'm excited about it. It's really like it's something big. To me, it's big. So yeah, so we'll kind of dive into that if it gets locked down. Hopefully it does.
All right, awesome, man. Well, look, it sounds like you guys have some things to be excited for. You know, we'll be posting all your socials up at Late Night Jackin', at Alex Don't Disco. That's correct, right? Boys Don't Disco.
That's my personal one, and then I have at Boys Don't Disco, which is like the artist page.
Yeah, cool. And at Paul Najera, is that correct?
Last name first, Najera P.
Ah, cool, Najera P. There we go.
Somebody
Everybody
took
knows what's what.
first last name.
I will say this. This is the most adult conversation I've ever had with you guys.
I've been
I feel like there needs to be some shit talking right at the end or something.
Yeah, professional right now.
Because that really is the basis of like the strongest relationships between men, I think, is if you can shit talk to your friends, you really truly appreciate and love them.
I text
no other explanation.
You should jump into our live streams. I mean, there's some mad shit talking going on there.
I can only imagine.
We just we just roast each other to death.
The group chats were always a freaking hoot, bro.
Yeah.
I would always look in those and just be like, oh shit. Relentless.
That's something we're pretty famous in the live stream circuit for that. Like, everybody's amazed that we like talk so much shit about each other. And they're just like, bro, your guy is getting roasted, and like everybody's jumping in it. I'm like, that's how we do it.
Bro, I see it as a good way. It's all love, man.
It's love, man. It's, you know, we don't take it seriously. That's just how we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, tight. All right. Well, guys, thanks very much for anyone watching. Paul, Najera, and Boys Don't Disco, Pump Soul, out September 16th. Greco, thank you very much for joining. My dude from Rawson Deep, OMF, Wave Stage.
We out here.
Everything.
We're just doing all the things. And yeah, keep it tight. Thanks very much, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you, man.
We'll see you guys.
See you guys.
Enjoy the weekend.
You too, man.